going to be watching anyway. Send a link to everybody.
Yeah, true. How do you send a link? Oh, welcome to Shake and Bake. This is our podcast. On the other end, you got Dan the Man in the van. We
Hello,
are a
good
premiere movie podcast. Welcome, Dan. This is a co-host. He's not a guest. Get used to it. If you don't like him, piss off.
Thank you for having me this week. It's hopefully it'll be the beginning of something good.
Just letting you know, Dan, it's not just this week. It's many more weeks to come. You know, it's a bit of what we call a commitment here.
Yeah, no, I like being the guest host for this week. That's fine. Yeah, I quite like that idea. So, yeah, hopefully I'll be better than the guy who was last week, and hopefully I'm better than the guy who's going to be here next week. So, let's get cracking.
All right, we get into it. Star Wars. What did you the brand spanking new trilogy? What did you like about it?
So that is called
about it at all?
The sequel trilogy.
Correct.
So, Matt, I haven't watched these ones obviously as much as the original trilogy, obviously, and then also not even as much as the prequel trilogy. But the first one, Awakens, or Episode 7, if you want to call it that. 7, 8, 9. Mate, I loved it. I actually quite liked it. Because it was it was almost a frame for frame reboot of
Force Awakens, not the Force Awakens, the
Episode 4, A New Hope.
New Hope, yeah.
Almost. You know what I mean? They had their own version of the Death Star, and they had a bit of Tatooine or Jakku. Mate, it was a classic reboot in my opinion. Like, you wouldn't want to. That would, if you hadn't have seen any of the other movies and you walked straight into that one, I reckon you could kind of follow it. You know what I mean? Like trying to find a ghosted Jedi, obviously Luke, and then by the way, there's going to be spoilers in this. There will be spoilers if you haven't seen it. So this is just our opinion.
Yeah, if you haven't gotten off your ass and seen it yet, there will definitely be spoilers.
It's been out for ages now, Christ.
You got no excuses. You have to go see it.
No excuses. And it was quite funny. Like, you see everybody with there's a new hero, a new debonair hero, and obviously Poe Dameron. And then obviously we've got our main girl, our main Jedi girl, which is sort of continuing that Skywalker storyline. So if you're into that Jedi stuff, Jedi Sith stuff, the antagonist, Kylo Ren. And then who is shrouded in mystery as to who you could say he's a Sith apprentice. I would call him a Sith apprentice. And Snoke, who we don't see much of. His screen time in that movie must be what? A minute?
Yeah, maybe like a couple of scenes and like the big the big hall scenes. But I agree with you in the fact that it's definitely the only one that's rewatchable out of all the new three of them, because it's set up. I mean, to be honest, I think that they went the wrong direction. I think they should have gone with the more interesting character Finn, because he was it wasn't clones anymore. It was just stolen children that were indoctrinated into becoming stormtroopers that still can't hit anything. And then he revoked that, and then pretty much after that big intro, Finn is just like the comic relief for the rest of the movie, for the rest of the trilogy. And it was actually kind of sad. And Rey, she was I don't know. I don't really. I was actually just more interested to see Finn become the Jedi than sort of Rey, because I don't know. Rey didn't really do it for me. Not because she was a female character or anything like that. Just had nothing that I don't know, popped out. The star of the show, the man with the broken back for carrying, the whole entire trilogy, would have to be Kylo Ren, I'd say. Because what I liked about Kylo Ren was that he had almost like he was just a superpowered wannabe. Didn't have any discipline. He was just really strong, and that was about it, really.
Yeah, classic Jedi. Halfway through, classic half-assed Jedi become Sith because I'm mad at my parents. We've seen it already 6 other movies, so would have been nice if they'd done it a bit more, something different. But yeah, and I think in the trailers, or certainly in the build-up to watching the movie, and throughout the course of watching the movie, you do get the feeling that Finn may have been destined for greatness. But then, however,
Mm.
obviously, in the other 2 movies, The Last Jedi and what's number 9? Um, Whatever episode 9 was, I can't remember the name of it right now. He just drops off
The
into just being
Rise of
some
Skywalker.
random. That's it. That's it. Yeah, of course that's it. Yeah, he just drops off into being more of a soldier type character. Like, yeah, what? Like, mate, you had a lightsaber and stuff. You actually had a scrap with um,
Kylo Ren.
bro, hard out. So, um, hooked up with Poe Dameron. Like, bro, there were like heaps of opportunities to use, in my opinion, Finn, but somehow it's just shrouded with more mystery with Ray, which was all good. Like, I'm the same as you, man. Like, obviously, it's about time a female had a crack at it, right? Like, they've had all these
Yeah, it's
other
like
shows, and it's like, oh, okay, oh, we can be Jedi's too, guys. Like, all right then. Well, we'll write you into the next 3 movies and see how we go. I mean, obviously in part 2, part 2 of that trilogy, um, there was lots of like females in higher positions. Obviously, the general, a lot, General Leia,
didn't
and
didn't that like feel kind of forced? Uh,
mate,
like
mate.
like it was just put in your face the whole time that you oh all high positions must be occupied by women. That's
I
that's
know.
that's the that's like the gist I got from it.
She had her shot when she was running blockades when they were invading Hoth and Empire. You know what I mean? Oh, we'll just shoot a few iron cannons, and all you have to do is sidestep a Imperial Star Destroyer. No worries. So that was Leia's like big moment back in the 80s. So like done. We're done with the storyline, mate. But cool that she learnt a bit more Force related stuff. But in my opinion, because she was the sister of Luke. But I thought she would have been, mate. I thought she would have been Jedi'd up. Like she could have been Jedi'd up. You know what I mean? Like obviously in the novels that take place after Return of the Jedi.
But see, this is like where they messed up the like the perfect setup. As you said, I really liked The Force Awakens. It was like a movie that was like the perfect. It wasn't perfect, but it was like a good. It was a good reboot. Had some nostalgia, attracted some new fans. Had superpowered fanboy. Had a bit of mystery with Snoke. You didn't know what was going on. And then the Last Jedi just came along and just took a big dump on all of that.
Yeah,
Uh,
pretty much.
and
Pretty
like
much.
you had in the Force Awakens, you had like 3 cool villains. You had Kylo Ren, you had secondary cool villain Space Hitler, whatever his name was. Varanga, Space Ranger, Space Hitler Ranger,
Yep. Yep.
Hux, General Hux.
That's it. Yep.
And then you had Captain Phasma. Not that anybody cared too much about her, but she was still a cool little side villain for Finn to come up and prove himself towards later on. She was actually quite cool. And then in the opening sequence, old Snokey just gets General Hux and smashes him around like a bloody like a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
He
Not
was
fun
actually
for
quite
Hux.
good.
I think Hux was, or could have been another classic. Like he was obviously the Admiral Ozzel, or the next guy in line for. They should have. He should have just been force choked after his first failure, like Vader would have done that, bro. No worries, and then just promote the next guy. Or is it Admiral Ozzel? Admiral, not Admiral Akbar. Anyway, one of those bloody one of those Imperial uh,
English guys.
Imperial, yeah, bro, one of those guys, Marcus from Indiana Jones. So anyway, in part two, he could have done a lot more to hunt down the. See, part two, bro. Yeah, like I get exactly where you're coming from. Like Ghostbusters have just done it, mate. Ghostbusters have just done it, right? Afterlife. I know I'm sidetracking here, but it's a classic reboot, bro. It's got like 90% of the main cast members, right? That's already off to a good start. Same as Force Awakens, right? You're already, but then you've got new, 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 younger, more relatable characters for today's audience. Plus, the same with villains. How you mentioned Snoke shrouded in mystery. Kylo Ren's pretty cool. He's actually pretty cool. I like his style. He's trying to like copy um, Anakin, aka Darth Vader. So that's another classic villain. And then Snoke, obviously the head of the First Order. What's
The
that group
irony,
called?
the irony in like trying to copy Darth Vader, though, right, is that Darth Vader was at 50% less potential than he was if he continued to stay before he got all of his arms and limbs cut off. So Darth Vader was actually could never overthrow the Emperor because he was in a permanent life support suit and was now vulnerable to electricity. That's why the Emperor actually put him in that, because he was vulnerable to electricity. So he was pretty much the Emperor's bitch. He was a superpowered bitch.
Palpatine, man, he needs a prequel. Palpatine needs his own. Honestly, mate, so many characters that need their own spin-off, and I think Palpatine, like to see him as an apprentice with
What's his name? Darth
Darth
Plagueis.
Plagueis, bro, that needs to be a thing. That needs to be a thing in my opinion as well. Just to, that's all cool, showing us the light side of things and stuff. But, bro, because he's a bad dude. That Palpatine's a
Yeah,
bad dude.
I can't wait actually to see Anakin. What's it called? Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan Star Wars Disney series. It seems that they've got their shit together a lot better than the movies because even that old Tim probably only had 3 days notice and came back as Boba Fett. I mean, sorry, Boba Fett. And but then he trimmed up when he came back for Boba Fett. But that was watchable. The Mandalorian, I haven't seen it. Started watching it, just hasn't grabbed me. Nothing. It's probably like a really good series. I just haven't gotten invested in it yet. But it seems to be like a way better path than any of the movies going down. Even if you watch the Clone Wars cartoons, they're still better watchable, because it's better character stories than that. And there's going to be a lot of Darth Vader and sort of Obi-Wan sort of stuff in that new Obi-Wan series.
It's certainly been hinted of that, and I've seen a lot of fanboy posters of Hayden. What's his name, bro? Hayden
Christensen, yeah.
Done up in Vader outfits and stuff, but whether or not him and Obi-Wan will actually scrap is one thing or another. It's probably going to be another. If the Mandalorian's got anything to go by, and this is probably why you probably didn't really catch on to it, and the same with Book of Boba Fett, was it's very slow burning. It's such a slow burning. The first episodes are quite slow as well, and also I will sit there and I was like, this could easily be a game. This could easily be a game as you're playing it as a character, because in say the first 5 episodes of Mandalorian season 1, it was literally, oh, you do something for me and I'll do something for you. Then he has to go off and do like a job or something, and he comes back and then someone will give him the information. Oh, go to this system and ask for this person. Then you're literally like, it's a quest, one quest after another, one quest after another, which finally builds up to, it's cool how, I mean, I don't want to ruin it for you saying, because if you haven't seen it, but it's cool how it builds up to the end and of season 1, but then season 2 just hits harder, man. Season 2 was way cooler. So And then you could actually say that season 3 was the Book of Boba Fett, man, because his episodes were the best of that chapter, which was a bit of a shame, really. But for
I
the
don't know.
Boba Fett franchise,
I don't mind the old Book of Boba Fett. Like it wasn't. The only gripe that I have with the Book of Boba Fett was probably Tim and Mira Morrison's gripe too. Is keep your bloody helmet on, mate. Nobody wants to see your ugly mug. You know, you're bloody Boba Fett, mate. Keep your helmet on. You already admitted that you're weaker without your armor, so obviously you should keep your helmet on. I liked the Psycho Chewbacca. He was quite cool.
Yep.
He was actually quite scary. The Psycho Chewbacca.
Chrysanthemum, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked him, bro. He was cool. I liked Fennec Shan. I like all those characters from that show, man. Actually, they were pretty cool. Even the Tusken Raiders in the earlier episodes before they met their fate, and then the Pike Syndicate. It was cool, man. It was cool. I thought it was pretty cool. So, and all scrapping over Mos Espa. So as well, good to see a bit more Mos Espa, but hard to tell whether or not the architecture of the city had changed between the Phantom Menace, which was where they were in Mos Espa in the Phantom Menace, and obviously the Book of Boba Fett was set in Mos Espa as well. So I thought it would have been cool to see some old pod racing anythings, but apparently the Empire had banned pod racing for a number of years before that came out. So what a buzzkill!
You know, I think maybe the first two episode of Boba Fett should have just been Boba Fett inside the Sarlacc's stomach trying to get out, like coming across like old stormtroopers and like slowly getting burnt by acid, and just like make it really dark and coming across like creatures in the stomach and that sort of thing. I think that sort of stuff would have actually been like the stuff that you like wanted to see. And like, why did he like go back inside the Sarlacc? Did he just like want to say g'day? Did he want to kill it?
He thought his armor was down there, so he hovers. When he hovers the fire spray gunship above it. I can't believe no one even said the word Slave One in that whole segment of that ship being around. Oh, I've got a fire spray gunship. That's a fire spray gunship. Like, it's got a name. Like, you don't hear Han calling the Falcon a YT-1300, do you? No. He does in Solo, though, but it's because that model of the ship is obviously a YT-1300. But, like, you're not going to go... You're going to say, oh, it's the Falcon. It's the Falcon. Get her to the Falcon. Or Falcon.
I heard Solo was actually pretty crap. I didn't actually get around to watching it because I didn't really hear anything good about it.
Man, I thought it was cool. I thought Solo was cool, but I just I've only seen it once, unfortunately, and I think the time frame's a bit messed up. I thought it was set pre-Empire. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me because there's a character in it who you would think is otherwise not alive. So it's like, oh, how did he come back? And then it's like, oh, what year is this set in? It's obviously before the Battle of Yavin, but which is what the calendar goes off, BBY. But there's in there you'll see it's confusing to me. To me, it's confusing. I need to go and watch it. I need to rewatch it and then rewatch it and then rewatch it because the timeline is a bit funny, messed up, in my opinion, anyway. But
I don't think anybody really asked for that movie.
I thought it was pre-Empire. Put it that way. I thought that movie was pre-Empire.
I don't think anybody really asked for that movie to be made. I think the only people that wanted it was to make money. I don't like sometimes like you don't need an origin story. It's like trying to explain Freddy Krueger. We don't really need to see where Freddy Krueger came from because then he's less scary.
You just go to sleep.
That's right. You just go to sleep, and all we want to see is like what Freddy Krueger does, like when you go to sleep. Nobody cares about how he got there. Yeah. So same sort of this. So I don't really think but it's like next they'll be making like a Leia film. I really hope not, because I won't be watching it.
Bro, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Let's have a look at what Alderaan looked like before it met its fate. You know, you know what I mean? Let's have a walk around on Alderaan. Let's see how great that planet used to look in its heyday.
See,
With the young Leia.
I like where you're coming from, because you're like, I don't care who they make it on. Let's just make everybody's sort of thing, and then what's good is what's good, and what's bad is, we just disregard it.
Well, they've already kind of done that. Well, not with Leia, but what about Rogue One? You must have seen that. That's a good. That's
Rogue One. That was
top notch.
Actually,
that was a top notch flick, mate. That was a good flick.
Steve, honestly, this is what I mean. Like I mean, obviously, like, it wasn't. It didn't. The best thing about Rogue One is that, I don't know. It was just. I mean, it was a little bit. I think the one thing they need to fix in Star Wars, and it really pisses me off, is that they just need to have stormtroopers actually fucking hit shit. Because, like, they just get annihilated every time, and there's like no danger, present in it, and you can't. It's like when you like watch a Taika Waititi Marvel movie like Thor. There was so much humor in it that it didn't really pose much danger, And like in Rogue One, like it's just like they had like these special black stormtroopers, as in black suited stormtroopers, and they were supposed to be the elite, but they still couldn't hit shit. Yeah, And the coolest part about that was the story. The story was actually really good, and it did some explaining as to why, the Death Star had that that dumb fault in it, where it could explode at any second. Or, that, what do you call it?
The exhaust port.
Yeah.
What a design
it just seems like there seems to be like a bit of a plot hole. That because like in The Force Awakens, it pretty much wasn't that hard to destroy either. It was an exhaust port issue there, and I think so too.
It's like they didn't think about it. Like, they just have to have the exact same. What was that planet called? Planet Killer 1 or something. I can't honestly. It's been a while since I watched The Force Awakens. It has been a while. Look at that.
Oh mate, you got it on DVD.
Nostalgia. I don't even have to. Who even has time to stream stuff? Who even streams stuff? Last Jedi.
Mate, you got The Last Jedi, your game.
Last Jedi on DVD, on disc cassette,
Mate, Kylo Ren's lightsaber was boss though. I loved Kylo Ren's lightsaber. It was like,
it was cool, bro. It was cool.
I don't care what anybody says. It was a boss lightsaber, mate.
No, it was cool, bro. It was cool. Even the bit that came out at the hilt, I think it's called, where mate, it was cool. I thought it was dope. And it was cool. Obviously unstable crystal, so it had that flex to it.
It made it better though, because like every time you ignited it, it sounded like it was about to bloody explode, and it was like cackling, and it was just like and what pissed me off though is that like Luke Skywalker was like. He really let me down in that movie. Not him, because this was the director's sort of directing, but he just didn't want to do anything, and towards the end he just appeared as a force vision, and that was it.
I think he'd already seen maybe like how bad he was starting to realize that how up themselves they were, the Jedis, in terms of like the Jedi Council and all that sort of stuff. He was like, oh, it's all, I'm over it. It's all who saw past it? Qui-Gon Jinn and all that. They saw the flaws in the Jedi Knights. Surely, that's why Qui-Gon Jinn was never made a council member, and same for probably Count Dooku. I think it's mentioned. Dooku's like, mate, your bloody Jedi's in your council. They're not all that. You know what I mean? They're not the be all and end all. And I think Luke maybe in those, because obviously after having what did he do? He's tried to train a few up, and obviously the Jedi Temple, his Jedi Temple got burnt down by, I'm going to assume, Kylo Ren in the flashbacks or something. So,
Yeah, well, it's just like in the end, wasn't it weird that like when one thing I admired in like the Last Jedi is how they had the balls to kill off Snoke,
yeah,
but
the two of them between themselves, yeah.
But have you ever watched that fight sequence after they kill Snoke? It's like these guys. If you stop watching Rey and Kylo Ren and just watch the Emperor's guards in the background, you see them just doing the weirdest shit, just like spinning around and like for like these predetermined shots. And like, so if you're looking at it from Rey and Kylo's perspective, it looks okay because they're deflecting shots. But if you're looking at it from like the Emperor's guards perspective, you're just like, what? This just looks dumb. But I dig, but it's sad because like I really dig the fact that like you had these Emperor's guards that could their force armor was designed to deflect lightsabers, to an extent. And I thought there was, these guys were trained to take on force users, which was actually quite cool. Just a bit of a disappointment that they didn't get some better choreography going, because it could have been quite cool.
Agreed, absolutely agreed. And then another thing was at the end, when you finished watching, I'm going to refer to it as part one. Obviously, it's episode 7. At the end of that one, you've been given a brilliant reboot. You've been introduced to some of the villains. You've been introduced to most of the main characters, right? So, in what I now refer to as part 2 or episode 8, because we're only talking about the trilogy, right? Mate, they could have expanded so much on Snoke's origins, like, because that was one of the questions that needed to be answered. Like, oh, who's this new guy? Who's this new guy? 2, how did Kylo Ren, aka Ben Solo, get turned toward the dark side? Obviously, we find out a bit more about that through Luke Skywalker's flashbacks, right? But we don't actually know. All we know, and unless this is covered in novels or other things that are canon in that nature between Jedi and between episode 6 and 7, all that we know as the movie viewer or the television watcher is that Emperor Palpatine's been thrown down the tower shaft, and Darth Vader's passed away. So the Sith as a whole are gone. So I was really keen to find out about Snoke being the next sort of Sith Lord. Like, where has this guy come from out of nowhere, and how is it that that he's not only come out of nowhere, but he's trained so well in the ways of the Force, and as well as has managed to pick himself up an apprentice, obviously in the form of Kylo Ren, because Kylo Ren would have had to supersede someone, would have had to, if going off Palpatine was anything to do with it. So I'm not 100% sure. You know what I mean? Did he try to turn Rey? He must have tried to turn Rey, surely. Knockout, fun surprises, marvelous adventure, and shocking revelations. Well, that's the Rolling Stones bit for you, mate, off the back of the DVD cassette. It's just like the the franchise has just continued. But they basically just want you to watch a whole lot of. Look at that, Millennium Falcon. All you have to do is put the Millennium Falcon on a cover, mate, and a couple of new lightsabers, and look at that, Luke. It sells itself, honestly. It sells itself. The marketing does anyway, so. You've gone and left me, boy, so. I could rant forever. I'm out of my aqua purificata. It's a good drop. It really is a good drop. I'll have to bring you back in. I'll have to bring you back online. Surely you're not watching this still. Surely you're not watching this still. And we've made heaps of references to other shows. I don't have the DVD for the third movie though. That's concerning, to say the least. Off camera. Look at that. Harrison Ford. Yeah, BB-8. BB-8 makes it onto the cover of both. And Chewbacca. Mate, it's all full of nostalgia, that's for sure. Yeah, that's right. J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams. Man can make a good flick. Wonder how much George Lucas had to do with it. Even the writing part, eh? I know. We'll talk about that in episode 2, season 1 of our brand new podcast, Shake and Bake. Stay tuned, stick around. We're probably going to cover some other movies up in the future. Starting with Dude, Where's My Car? That's a good one. Start with Dude, Where's My Car? Aston Kutcher. And what's my mate's name? I'll ask my co-host. What is it? What's his name again? Sean William Scott. Or whatever. Yeah, I reckon. I'll wrap it up anyway. This will go out with a bang. Here he comes.
I'm back.
Here he is. Here he is, bro. Here he is. I've kept the show running. Don't worry, mate. Don't worry. I've kept the engine running. It's warmed up. I was about to wrap it up. Look at this guy.
I didn't.
Look at this
Did
guy.
was, what the hell's this? All I did was share it to a group, and look what happened. Bloody hell! Nearly imploded.
My ears are burning. My ears are burning.
I had to re-log in and everything.
Yeah, I've done this before. I think if you close or navigate away from this web page, I think it shuts it down. It pays to have a second device that you can use in the background to forward shit to. I think.
Okay, right. Is that you as a guest? Yeah, right. Gotcha. I was just like, oh,
you're still the admin.
Yeah, no.
You would still be
sorry, mate. I'm back. So, where were we?
No, still live. Still live, mate. Still live. Don't let a few technical details ruin the flow.
What are we talking about? I know what we're talking about, but where were we?
Star Wars, this sort of the final trilogy, or not the final trilogy, but the 7, 8, and 9. We haven't even covered 9. You know what I mean? And I was just covering Snoke. Like, guy needed his own backstory, mate. Honestly, there was enough time in that movie. I don't want to. I don't want to look.
Quite a cool villain, old Snoke.
Bro, for the 5 minutes of The Force Awakens and the probably 10 minutes that he had in The Last Jedi, I thought it was pretty cool. I just wanted to know where he'd come from. Was he, whose brother was he? Where's he from? You know what I mean? And also it's quite misleading that in A Force Awakens, when you see him in his hologram projection has him as a massive giant. It's just a big. Well, it's what is he? He looks much larger in his holographic projection than in The Last Jedi. He's small as. He's just a normal sized dude, which was made to be a bit of a letdown. I thought it was a big giant dude who was like all the be all and end all of like force creation, or certainly Sith creators, but no, just a normal dude. And then he's full of scars, frail skin, same as Darth Plagueis, or sorry,
Yeah,
Darth
they had
Sidious.
like several theories about Snoke, which could have been cool.
All
Because
of this is theories now.
you had Darth Vader coming back from the dead. You had or future Darth Vader coming back. You had Darth Plagueis coming back from the dead. You had a few.
Time travel, classic, and necromancy. Wow. Yeah, I mean, as soon as you start tying those things into shows, it starts to get a bit redundant. I think X-Men did that with a bit of time travel. Oh, we'll just introduce time travel to fix all the timelines.
Yeah. But then in the end, he just turned out to be a clone, which was just kind of boring.
He was a clone, eh? What
Palpatine,
was it? What?
or something like that. Anyway, not Palpatine's clone, but just, or it was just because he was like lots of other clones, of him, which is really boring. And then Ray turns out to be a Palpatine. I mean, who really cares about that? Nobody, because like this is where it gets like messed up. Ray has Force lightning, but the only people that have Force lightning are Sith, not Jedi. And they
Surely
insinuate
a Jedi could.
no,
Surely a Jedi on the light side could
no,
learn that.
no. Lightning is Sith, pure Sith power. I mean, I'm not going to stand up, and bet $1 million on it because I suppose you can just make that shit up. But as far as I'm aware, it's always just been a Sith power, and that's why Darth Vader got put into that mechanical suit because Sidious could just zap him.
Interesting, bro.
But yeah,
Interesting.
but this is a bit sad because he was actually real boss when he was just smacking Ray with the old Force powers and mocking Kylo Ren. That was quite funny. But everything you were saying about Kylo Ren was just true. He's just like a boy wearing a mask. And I was like, ooh.
Complete burn, mate. Complete burn. And the
Yeah,
dude,
because
he's
you
just
didn't
an
actually have to wear
untrained
a mask.
Jedi.
Hmm.
He doesn't
Uh,
even need to wear a mask. He just wants to wear it just to try and look like his grandfather. So,
that's right. Darth Vader didn't even want to wear the bloody mask, so he had
well,
to.
yeah, he had to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's what makes it a bit dumb.
Mustafar, bro. It's a tough planet to. It's a tough planet to go and have a picnic down by the river,
Yeah.
lava river.
And then and coming up to the last one, the Rise of Skywalker. It pissed me off that Ray changed her name to Skywalker because she's not. I mean, the only way that does make sense is is that she didn't know who she was, but then she figured out she was a Palpatine, but probably didn't want to be called Palpatine, I suppose. But that's a really dumb. I hated that. I hated that ending. I hated the fact that she was a Palpatine. It made no sense. It just felt shoehorned in. It was like Batman versus Superman when when Superman screams out Martha, and you're like, what?
Yeah, that's my mum's name.
That's right.
Um,
But still gonna die. Thanks, Sue.
um, Ray. Uh, yeah, and then also that whole storyline was made just from an off comment. It was just, what was it? It was bloody. It was one of the Fellowship of the Ring hobbits. I think it was the two breakfast guy, or second breakfast. I think it was one of those guys. He just had that off comment of, "Oh yeah, man, Palpatine's been into cloning for ages." Like, and then it's like, "Oh, bro, it's going back to Camino. It's like going back to like." It's now we're just to assume that, oh yeah, of course, Palpatine actually probably would have thought to get himself cloned at some point. Like, it's that believable because it's just an off comment, but it's like, well, we're gonna need to see that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna want to see that. Yeah, I
and
mean, I don't want to see. What I don't want to see is two of the main characters having to take a bloody escape pod or something off one of the main frigates of the rebellion, and shooting off to Casino Royale to try and find Benicio del Toro so that he can forge a few documents. Like, oh, are you for real? That's a side quest that's the side quest that nobody asked for, mate. Now we're freeing. Now we're going to go and free all these bloody racing animals, and then, not only that, we're going to free all of these animals. We're gonna ruin this rich Casino Royale planet. All right, cool. But then at the very end of that show, we're going to show a stable boy for no reason at all sweeping up the stable, and then what does he do? Does he drop the? Did he? Oh no, he literally uses the force to pick up a broom or something, and that's it. That's all. Why would they drop that? Why would you drop that at the end of the second movie, knowing that you've only got one movie to cover it, being the third of the trilogy, and then not even mentioning it, bro? They didn't even mention that. Has anyone even? Is there any storyline on that kid, that stable boy kid who used the force to pick up a broom at the very end? And that ties in with the, I'm going to say it, Asian group of characters, right? Because that girl Rose, I think her name's Rose. God bless her soul. She's a bomber on one of those rebel bombers. She's got that half moon. She's in that half moon gang, or what I call it, a gang, but whatever the group they are. That's a group. All that's doing is tying it back into Rogue One, where that was where that blind dude was. The blind dude and that other guy that went with him. They were the guards of that. What was it, that mine that protected the? Were those kyber crystals? And am I even saying it right? Kyber crystals. Because they needed to mine those crystals to make the Death Star's main gun ray. Yeah, bro. It was made out of those crystals, right? They were literally mining that whole planet. They were mining all of that stuff to get those minerals, so that they could well, the laser beam, right? The laser cannon, whatever it is. So they tie her in. They tie her in on part 2. They go running around at the bloody casino, and then they just leave that guy out. That young boy. Who is that dude? We're never gonna know at the moment, anyway.
I think that was just like posting up the future of Star Wars, that there's always 4 strong users, and I'm pretty sure that was at the end of the third one, man, not the second one. That Force user dude, anyway. But Rose is a boring character, and it sucks for Rose, because it's not like I want her to be a boring character. It's just she's just seemed like kind of whiny, and like Finn like had his big moment when he was like about to crash into that thing and sacrifice himself, and then she like just crashes and go, no, you can't do that. And I was like, what? I mean, okay, but
that's
what?
right. That's right.
And
And
then
those
she kisses
speed.
Finn, and then it just felt so. It was like Kylo Ren and Rey's kiss. You're like, didn't really see that one coming. Shouldn't have happened.
Shouldn't have happened, bro. Shouldn't have happened. And wasn't it like, oh man, this is like a bloody, this is like a Twilight Saga love triangle here, mate. Because we got Ren and Kylo, but then it sort of like sets up as like, it shouldn't have been Ren and Finn. But oh, sorry, not Ren and Finn. Not Ren and Finn. Wrong movie. Shouldn't it have been Rey and Finn? You know what I mean? Because they already had chemistry. But then when Poe Dameron introduces himself to Rey, it's like, oh, chemistry, boom. So there's like 3 dudes who are like obviously like close or thereabouts with Rey. So I mean, obviously, my man Finn, he had to get that kiss from. He had to get something from Rose. Someone had to get something from Rose, mate. Because
mate, I hate to say it, mate, but they Finn had some token black guy sort of vibes going on, unfortunately.
Oh, bro, absolutely, mate, absolutely. They
Um,
only had one black guy in the entire Star Wars universe, who was
we had
obviously,
Lando,
yeah, that's what I mean, Lando Calrissian, who only was in on part 2 and 3, minor roles in part 2 and 3, although he did fly the Falcon,
but
and
like
that was it. He was the only black dude, and then even in the prequel trilogies, mate, who'd you have, Mace? You had Mace, yeah, Mace
yeah,
and
but yeah,
surely,
but the cool thing about Mace though was at least he was like the boss Jedi. He wasn't like Finn, just like
yeah.
it wasn't like Finn who was just like cracking. I don't know. He was like that guy out of not another teen movie. Like, damn, shit. That was whack.
Yeah. Literally the
He felt
token
like
black guy.
comic relief the whole movie, and he didn't need. And I suppose like they needed comic relief in this movie, that also they fought, but it didn't have to be the token black guy.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, token
It could
black
have
guy. He
been.
must, bro. He must be literally the only token black guy in it. Surely, you know what I mean? I mean, but then I mean, of course, we saw like token Asian dudes in Rogue One. There's token Mexican dudes. There's like a Hispanic. The other guy in Rogue One. So like so only now are they all inclusive. You know what I mean? Oh, we're not gender biased anymore, or you know racially biased anymore. We were inclusive here at Lucasfilm. But when you watch the movies, when did it come out? 74. When you
Yeah.
watch the movie in 74, bro, it's like, okay.
Well,
Let's make
there's
a
a.
movie about space and then
I
not
don't.
include any other races. That's another thing that annoys me with Star Wars, bro. That not only do they have infinite amount of people to choose from on the planet Earth, but they've got infinite amount of aliens may well be used as other like key role characters. I don't know why it's so. Why is everything a bloody human? Why is it always a human that's the hero or the villain? You know what I mean? A hero or a bloody robot? The droids. It's just another observation. You know what I mean? Star Trek don't do that by
Well, at
comparison.
least all the stormtroopers are moldy.
The first batch is
Yeah, the first
the
batch
first
was like you
batch.
go back and watch George Lucas's trilogy, they're all just talking like Jake the Musk.
That was the whole. That was the whole problem with watching Book of Boba Fett, mate. I had to see past Jake the Muss, bro. You know what I mean? For a New Zealand, for a Kiwi watching that show, it's hard getting past the whole Jake the Muss. I'm sure in the States they probably haven't really, they probably don't know who Jake Hickey is, but mate, over here, bro, if he's not Jake Hickey, he's Dr. Ropata. You know what I mean? Like,
Mate,
it's hard getting past that, bro. It's hard getting past it.
Jake Hickey should have been on Mortal Kombat, mate.
The first one,
Yeah, the first.
or the reboot.
Yeah, mate, he should. You can't have like Jake Hickey not be in any sort of like fighting game. He just would have been a good character, and Beth would have been cooking some eggs or something like that.
Yeah, bro. I'm sure there's not. I'm surprised there's not a meme out about that actually. Fennec Shand cooking eggs or something, bro. So could be one to make.
It seems that it seems like Tem just got sort of like stereotyped this, because I suppose Tem doesn't really have like a lot of range. He's just Tem. Tem always just plays Tem.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, Uncle Bully, he plays all sorts, mate. He plays Mexican, he plays Latino, he plays Jewish. It was Jesus recently.
Yeah, I've seen Three Kings. I've seen Three Kings, mate. He's in Three Kings. If you're talking
Iranian,
about
was it?
Cliff Curtis, yeah, man.
He is
Yeah, he would
your
have been
guy.
good. He would have been a good
What he
one.
wanted to be. He was Hispanic in Training Day.
Yeah, bro. Yep. Nothing personal, bro. Yep.
But
Yeah.
old Tim, he's just Tim every movie.
Tim, every movie, bro. Even Django, even in the even in Attack of the Clones, mate, he was just the same, bro, as Django Fett. Get your stings. We're leaving. It's just like, bro, Classic,
And
classic, mate. And then every
and I say like, good on you if you can make money just from being yourself, then go for it. But like he wouldn't be the only actor that this is like the Daniel Day-Lewis of just doing one thing. Like if you look at like so many other actors, like very few actors just go all over the show. But yeah, he just gets paid for doing himself pretty much.
yeah, the same as in Moana. He was the voice of that dude and the chief in Moana. That's the only thing I can think. I think he was in a New Zealand Indian film about aliens. I've only seen a trailer for it though, so this is Tim.
New Zealand indie film about aliens. That must be interesting.
Yeah. Maybe it's not an indie, but it's like one of those Mad Max. I should know. Like I guess it was a pretty good. I guess it got good reviews at the Sundance Festival. Put it that way. I'll try to find it and try and have a look and have a look what it was. The trailer looked really interesting. It looked like he was the hero in that movie, but
No.
I don't know. It might be worth a watch. I don't know. But again, are we just going to try and get past the fact that he's Boba Fett? I'm going to try and get past the fact that he's, Jake the Muss. Cool as ice though. Cool as ice in that as Boba Fett, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like him as Boba Fett, mate. He just needs to keep his helmet on.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Well, Django didn't leave his helmet on, bro. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It takes away from the mystery. And it'd be much cooler. You know. You just let the mask do the talking. You know.
Well, I think that like if you set up 3 movies with never seen Boba Fett's face, then logically you just need to not see Boba Fett's face because then that takes the mystery element away from it.
Yeah.
It's like seeing Jason Voorhees' face. You shouldn't really see it, or Michael Myers' face. You shouldn't really see it. You know. I don't know if you could see this, but I don't know if some smartass just shared it, but there's like a whole bunch of links to naked girls here. Streamer recommends naked girls here. Streamer recommends on the maybe one of the lads from the chat bloody put it up there.
No way, I can't see it, mate. I can't see it. You're the studio. You know what I mean?
Or
You're
maybe
the one that's got the studio, cracking.
Oh, you're lucky then. MS Fishing. Do you know who MS Fishing is? Maybe that's Simon.
No idea. Could be anyone, mate. Could be just a random.
Could be. They stuck around for a wee bit.
Yeah, because you'd have the viewers, eh? You'd have it.
Don't get too excited, mate. It's just 0 right now. Yeah, right up there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, mate. We want some more.
Click the link.
What was that?
No, I'm just saying, click the link, mate. Click the link. To anybody watching, click the link.
Well, I tried to share it before, and nearly buddy brought down the whole server. So, I'll have to figure that one out in the future. But anyway, our old podcast, it wasn't bad, was it?
It's wrapping up.
Well, if I push end, I'm guessing that's gonna wrap it up, right?
It'll probably end our broadcast day, but not necessarily this conversation that we're having right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.